turning up on this very chilly day. The reason for this demonstration is to draw attention to this proposal by Devon County Council to close the 3 link centres across North Devon. These link centres were designed 30 years ago as a solution to our geographical isolation and to provide support for people who were experiencing mental illness or who needed some extra TLC and support along their road to recovery to re-engage with everyday life and the challenges that posed. What's happened is last year we were told that this proposal was going to go ahead, that they were going to close the link centres more than a year ago, and we fought that off and we all answered the consultation and they said no, we won't close the link centres. But what has happened in that year in between has been that they have, in my opinion, had a deliberate policy of downgrading this service so that they can then say, oh well, you know, it wasn't being used, so we can close it anyway. And they didn't actually reopen it until I think the end of April in 2022. And when they did reopen it, it was very limited just to drop-ins and not the full range of services that it once offered, which means that from the start there were lots of people who couldn't re-engage because it wasn't offering the full services. But also they closed the routes by which people could be referred. You used to be able to self-refer before COVID. You could be referred by your GP, you could be referred by partner agencies. Now the only way that you can get access to the link service is via the community mental health team, who will send you for an assessment, but assessments are taking 9 months or more, meaning that nobody new can get to use this service. So it's unsurprising that the numbers aren't increasing. There are lots of people out there in the community who are awaiting assessment, who are desperate to use this service and are not getting access. There are people who who are unwell and need support but haven't even begun on that journey with the community mental health team. Now, from what I can read in the consultation, it looks to me as though they want to limit anything they offer if these link centres closed to just those people under the Social Care Act. So that would reduce numbers significantly that they have an obligation to provide any kind of support to. That is extremely worrying. And it also looks to me, and it's not very clear, I have to say, in their consultation, they look as though they want to push people onto what they call existing opportunities in the community. I'm not really sure what that means, but what we do know is that the services we have in Ilfracombe that are provided by volunteers and community groups are absolutely feeling such an incredible strain, and they themselves are struggling to recruit volunteers, are struggling around finance, are struggling to provide what they can. And not only that, but the Link Centre is purposed. It's a safe space. It's somewhere that people are trained and skilled in offering support around mental health and around mental illness. It's somewhere where you don't have to retell your story over and over again in different environments, different groups, and it's there for people who are ill or who need that extra support. And if people are being pushed onto community groups and out into the community, you know, that is going to be a situation where those people haven't got the skills who are running those groups in order to offer the support needed. For example, they say in their consultation, oh, there are loads of other places where people can help with filling out forms. Well, there is not the capacity out there, and there's not the specialist support that someone needs who is suffering from anxiety or depression and is feeling that life is challenging and needs someone who understands. So we have to fight this. They think it's a done deal. They think that this is just going to close. What we want is we want the Link Centre, and we want it open 5 days a week, and we want more. Mental health is on the increase. As a result of COVID and the cost of living crisis, somewhere like Ilfracombe, which is an area with pockets of deep deprivation, already had higher than average numbers of people experiencing poor mental health. Post-COVID, the statistics already show us that has increased significantly. And yet what are they doing? They talk about mental health all the time. Government talks about mental health, local government talks about mental health. It's all everywhere, but what are they doing? They're actually slashing it, which is absolutely unbelievable. Not only that, but this isn't the only cut they're proposing. They're proposing to slash their contribution to the Homelessness Prevention Fund of £1.5 million. They're just not going to give that. That's it, it will be gone. Shocking. And that means that places like the Maples in Barnstable that support everyone in North Devon, it's a hostel, is going to face a shortfall of £115,000. Now, will they be able to keep running that service? We're in the middle of a housing crisis. They're proposing cuts to the services for carers, for people with learning disabilities, for elderly people. This is hitting the most vulnerable people in our society because there is a huge black hole in Devon County Council's finances. Well, that is a result of central government policies failing to fund local councils properly. But why are we here today having to bear the brunt of that? It's completely unacceptable. And Devon County Council is being disingenuous in what they're putting in their consultation. It's not true that nobody else wanted to come in and run some groups and services in the Link Centre. I have absolute proof that people offered to do that, but it was not taken forward. And it's not true that they held stakeholder meetings. They held one meeting at which they limited who could actually come to the meeting, and at that meeting all they discussed was how future meetings would be, and we never had any more meetings. So it's an absolute untruth that they've engaged with people about a future service here. So we say no to these cuts. If you don't fight it, then they're just going to push these things through, and we must stand up as a community and say no more taking services away from Ilfracombe, no more taking them away from North Devon, and we've got to fight back against this. So thank you everyone for coming today.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you can.
Sorry. Why should nobody from North Devon District Council, not the District Council, also HCOG, for here to find out what we can do about keeping this place up, and then why nobody comes down?
Well, everybody, I urge you to write to Devon County Council, fill in the consultation, write to your MP, write to your Devon County Councillor, Paul Crabb. Where is he today? He's not here. But I urge you to take action and let your voice be heard. We will be going, Nettie's going as well on the 21st of March to the committee considering this to make our voice heard as well. But the more that you can get it out there and let people know about this, the better. I don't know, strategically, on the 17th of March we go into something called PERDA, where there are restrictions on what can be reported, and so it's going to be difficult to get the message out, which is why we've held this today, to make sure we get as many people responding to that consultation, saying no, no, no.
Saturday morning. Do you realise that all the staff have been given notice of what they're redundant? Right, next Saturday morning we're going to be in Barnstable at 10 o'clock in the morning. There'll be an action. Save Our Hospital Services will be there. Terry will be there, I think. And we're going to be highlighting the cuts in services that we keep getting time after time after time. North Devon gets ignored so much of the time. It's as if we don't exist. Most services and most money is ploughed into South Devon. No more cuts. We really do not want. We can't afford any more cuts. We're on our uppers up here. It's dire. The whole country actually. This is a government choice is to cut your services. But it's about time we told them no. Okay?
Yeah.
me about fake properties. Listen to them.